Hello and welcome back to Aviary Attorney. I'm Karma and I will be your friend and host this evening. Last time we broke into someone's house, as one does, and we met this guy.
As you will, Your Honor. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
I bet this guy would turn in his own mother if he saw her littering.
And now we're about to talk to our next witness, so let's get right to it.
Prosecutor, I trust your next witness is ready.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. I call upon him. Let's see. Monsieur Robitio de Robinio, the photographer who attended the banquet on the night of the murder.
Monsieur Robitio Robinio, please approach the stand and recite the oath.
How does it go? I swear to speak without hatred and without fear and tell the truth and nothing but the truth. It's a little cliche, to be perfectly honest. Okay, I gave him a different voice, but it's fine.
Could the witness please introduce himself for the court record?
As if anybody in this courtroom does not immediately recognize me. I'm the great Monsieur Robitio Robinio, cutting-edge photographer and visionary. I don't take people's pictures, I capture their essence, the very essence. Je suis l'artiste, tu es une pipe. You may have seen my works in hip magazines, Le Branché or C'est chouette. I can send you tweets if you like.
What on earth is a tweet?
Bird-to-bird communication. Come on, Falcon. It's the 19th century. Get with the times already. Yes, your works are very impressive, Monsieur Robinio, but let's get down to business. Could you tell us your activities the night of the murder?
Very well. I was hired by Baron Roguewale to capture the evening's events. I arrived at 7 in the evening. I pointed my camera and captured the beauty of the banquet in one fantastic photograph. Then I billed Baron Roguewale and left.
Like a true artist. And with regards to the photograph itself, who did you photograph?
I thought you might ask. I brought a copy so that you could all see for yourselves.
Oh, very good. Let's take a closer look.
This is a different one. Interesting.
My word, this is an exquisite picture, isn't it? So let's see, who do we have here? In the middle we see Baron Roguewale, the lion who hosted the event. On the left we see Signor Portrois de Miao, the father of the defendant, Dame Catherine. And finally we see the housemaid, Colleen Duhot, who I suspect may have snuck into the picture uninvited. As you can see, two people are clearly absent from the photograph. The first is the victim, Monsieur Grenouille. The second is the defendant, Dame Catherine de Miao. Quite suspicious, wouldn't you agree?
Just a moment, Monsieur Rabbington. This proves nothing. So the defendant and the victim were not photographed with the others. That doesn't mean that they were in the garden together at that point.
Hold your horses, Falcon. I'm not done yet.
Prosecution may continue.
Behind the photograph subjects, we see a wall clock with the time set at 7:30. Now, why is that time significant? Well, as Inspector Volerti told us earlier, that was the exact time the murder took place. Do you see, Falcon? Every suspect has an alibi at the time of the murder, save for Dame Catherine herself. Falcon, something is fishy. In the jail cell, Dame Catherine told us that she was present when the photograph took place, but I don't see her in Robinio's photograph.
That's true, but I can't use Dame Catherine testimony as evidence. It has too little weight. If I want to prove that Monsieur Robinio's photograph is not a valid piece of evidence, I will have to dish out evidence of my own. Your Honor, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Very well, the defense may proceed.
It's a waste of time if you ask me. Photographs are rock-solid evidence.
Okay. Arrived at 7 p.m. I set up my camera.
Monsieur Robinio, you say that you arrived at 7 o'clock.
Give or take a couple of minutes, yes? How long did it take to set up?
How long did it take to set up your camera?
It took perhaps 25 minutes to find a shooting location, put together the camera and ready the film.
So you arrived at 7 and the photograph took place at 7:30. You spent 25 minutes setting up. That leaves 5 minutes unaccounted for.
Falcon, surely you aren't suggesting that Monsieur Robinio did something, nefarious in this small window of time?
No, I am not.
Not at all. I'm just trying to piece together the evening's events.
I spent a little time talking with Baron Roguewale when I arrived. That's probably where the rest of the time went. No.
Okay. Camera. I would like to ask about the camera itself.
Go on.
Can a camera ever mimic... How exactly does it work? How exactly does the camera work?
I'm afraid that is a patented trade secret.
Oh, but it is a mechanical device, yes? You point it at something and then it clicks and whirs, and out shoots out a photograph.
That's quite a crass explanation. It is true that I point and click the camera, but that only creates a negative, a prototype of all sorts. Then I have to develop the photograph, and that takes time.
How much time exactly?
Around 4 days. This photograph is hot off the press, if you will.
Suppose that does explain why the Baron hasn't received his photograph yet.
No.
Okay. Photograph. Let's take a closer look at this photograph.
Why is that in black and white?
I was under the impression the photographs were flawless reproductions of reality, and yet I see something that is totally at odds with reality. It is a glaring error. It's something that is so blatant I'm amazed it has been overlooked.
A glaring error?
Impossible. Well, you see, whereas reality is in color. This photograph is merely in black and white.
Monsieur Falcon, you are quite the foolish Luddite, aren't you? There is no mistakes, all photographs are in black and white.
All of them?
Yes, it's a limitation of photographic technology.
Oh, now I feel silly. Yes.
I see a mistake. I see a mistake in the photograph.
Just to clarify, Monsieur Robinho, photographs are a direct reflection of reality, are they not?
That is correct. The photographic process leaves no room for bias or inaccuracies.
That is most curious because I see a mistake.
A mistake? Impossible. I just told you, monsieur, the camera is a perfect unbiased device. The photographs it produces are flawless.
Falcon, I'm not seeing any mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific.
Certainly. The clock in this photograph. There's something not right about it.
Well, isn't that convenient? The defense sees something wrong with the key piece of evidence that implicates his client.
Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Rabbington. I have evidence that there's something wrong with the clock in that picture. The photograph clearly shows the clock's hands pointing at 7 and 6.
That much is self-evident.
Which is most curious because the clock in the lounge of Chateau Crinier had no hands.
It has no hands?
The clock is merely a decorative piece, a talking item. Feel free to ask Baron Roguel or his housemates if you have doubts. Monsieur Robinho, how do you explain this discrepancy?
I don't know. There must be some sort of mistake. My camera is flawless.
There is no mistake, monsieur. Your photograph depicts something that does not exist in the real world.
But maybe there was an error in the printing process?
An error precisely where the clock's hands should be? Please, monsieur, don't patronize us. Allow me to offer a more plausible explanation. You, Monsieur Robinho, edited this photograph.
Edited?
I'm no expert, but I suspect that you used paint or ink to carefully put hands upon the clock. It would have been a simple task, considering that the clock face was bare. One could even speculate that you specifically chose to include a handleless clock in the photograph just to simplify the editing process.
Falcon, your reasoning is absurd. Why would the witness do such a thing?
Isn't it obvious? By showing the photograph to have taken place at precisely 7:30, it clears all the photograph subjects of suspicion. In other words, Monsieur Robinho created a perfect alibi. Of course, this raises further questions. Who is the witness protecting? And why was Monsieur Robinho coerced, bribed, threatened? Enough silence, let's hear some answers, Monsieur Robinho.
Fine, you got me, I'm guilty, I did it all.
You did it! You're confessing to the murder, Monsieur Grenouille.
What? No, I had no idea who killed the frog. I'm just admitting that I'm guilty of reproducing fraudulent photographs. I was ordered to make changes to the printed photographs. And yes, that included adding hands to the clock.
You were ordered? By whom?
I dare not say.
Monsieur Robinho, I strongly advise you to answer the defense's questions. You have pledged to speak without fear, after all.
The respect, Judge, I fear his claws more than I fear the punishment of the justice system. I shall name no names.
His claws. Did you hear that, Falcon?
That is most unfortunate. Monsieur Robinho, we cannot and shall not torture names out of you. We don't live under the ancient regime, after all. But since you have admitted to falsifying evidence, then we cannot keep you on the stand as a witness. Take your leave. You shall be charged with perjury in due course.
I can't protest. That's the least I deserve for my failure as an artist. Good day, messieurs.
Okay, we gained a little favor of the jury.
So the clock's hands were painted on. So what? It doesn't matter. The photograph still depicts Dame Carteline as absent close to the time of the murder. That's significant.
Don't be tense, Monsieur Rabington. If the photograph is not completely genuine, then it cannot be considered reliable evidence.
Why not? It's still a portrayal of the night's events.
Because we accept that one part of the picture was edited, then we must accept the possibility that the other parts were too. It is possible that Dame Carteline was painted out. Even worse, it is possible that another person was painted in. We know that the witness was trying to cover for someone, so all possibilities must be accounted for.
So what are you saying, Falcon? That the housemaid paid off the photographer? Or was it Senor Patois de Miao, perhaps?
I don't think so. The housemaid lacks a means or motive, and it wouldn't make sense for Senor Patois to implicate his own daughter.
Well, surely you're not suggesting that the honest and beloved Baron Verguel deliberately tried to frame Dame Carteline? Because that would be the most outlandish theory yet.
Yes, the most suspicious person of them all.
The Baron is a pillar of our community. He would never do such a thing.
Monsieur Rabington, I'm not here to throw accusations. That's the job of you, the prosecutor. However... mayhaps I should offer my opinion.
Baron, it's not time for your witness testimony yet.
So you would think, prosecutor, and yet I see my good reputation getting tarnished by your incompetence.
Incompetence?
Indeed. Let us proceed with the witness questioning. Is that fine with you, Judge? Yes, I suppose that's fine. Very good. And I trust that the defense has no objections. No objections here. Fantastic. Oh, but before I forget, I pledge to speak without fear and prejudice, etc., etc. Now, prosecutor, ask me what I witnessed over the course of the evening.
Okay. Baron Verguel, on the night of the
The initial dinner went magnificently. When the photograph arrived, Monsieur Grenouille left to visit the garden. Dame Carteline followed behind him moments later. Signor Patois, Monsieur Robinho, and myself were engaged in conversation, so we paid her no mind. After the photographer had left, my housemaid left to go find Monsieur Grenouille and Dame Carteline. That would be when I heard her cry for help.
Thank you, Baron. I think we all know the story from here.
I would like to cross-examine the witness. Do you doubt my integrity, garçon? I'm just here to uncover the truth, Baron. Very well then. Hit me with your best shot. Let us establish with absolute certainty that I, Baron Verguel, am an honest man. The defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Great. The dinner. Baron Verguel would like to ask about the dinner you served that evening. Very well, ask away. Never mind. Let's choose a different topic. Monsieur Grenouille. Baron Verguel, I have some questions about Monsieur Grenouille. God rest his soul. Okay, what was your relation to Monsieur Grenouille? What was your relation to Monsieur Grenouille prior to his demise? We were business partners. Monsieur Grenouille, Signor Bertrand de Miel, and myself all owned a third share in an up-and-coming railway company. Excuse the crassness of this question, but that means that you and Signor Bertrand would now own half of the company each, correct? Oh, correct. I suppose that's a slight glimmer of benefit that arose from this foul situation. But monsieur, you must understand that Monsieur Grenouille and I were friends as much as we were business associates. I mourn the man's passing.
Of course. Yes. Why did Monsieur Grenouille visit the garden?
Why did Monsieur Grenouille visit the garden? I believe he wanted some fresh air. The steak did not sell well with him, affair.
Oh, I see. But that is quite coincidental timing, isn't it?
How so?
Well, Monsieur Grenouille felt sick and left the room just after the photographer arrived and just before the murder occurred. One might draw a link between the food and the sickness.
Hold on, Falcon. Surely you aren't suggesting that Monsieur Grenouille's poison was poisoned in...
What? Food was poisoned in some way? His poison was poisoned. No, I wouldn't say that. I don't have any proof.
No, there's nothing to indicate poisoning.
I just found the timing quite somewhat puzzling.
There is nothing puzzling about it. Monsieur Grenouille always had a soft stomach. It's really no surprise that he couldn't keep down a good rare steak.
No. Garden. Baron, we saw the murder scene, your garden for ourselves. To all the horses. When was the last time you visited it? Baron Roguel, when was the last time you ventured into your own garden?
As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. I haven't been in my own garden for years.
Years, you say?
Indeed.
That's not right. Baron, I do not wish to call you a liar, but that claim does not hold up to scrutiny.
Oh, and why is that?
Because we have hard evidence that you have visited the garden recently.
Balderdash! My word is gold. Show the court the so-called hard evidence that I've been in my garden.
This was found in your garden. To be specific, it was found inside the fountain basin. Right beside where the murder occurred. A cigar butt? That could belong to anybody and...
Prosecutor, please shut your mouth. I can speak for myself.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Baron.
That is indeed the remnants of one of my cigars, but I must apologize, Monsieur Falcon, for I misunderstood your initial question. You see, prior to the banquet, I hadn't visited my own garden in years. But naturally, after hearing the housemaid's cry for help on the evening of the murder, I rushed outside. I was shocked and disgusted by what I saw. That must have been when I dropped my half-smoked cigar in the fountain basin.
You see, Falcon, there is a perfectly reasonable explanation.
I would find that believable if the cigar were casually discarded. But as it happened, the cigar butt was found in the fountain's upper basin, a location that could only be accessed with great inconvenience.
And a little paddling.
The cigar butt was not dropped, it was deliberately hidden.
There are a number of possible explanations.
Are there? Because I can only think of one. That is that you, Baron Roguel, deliberately hid your cigar butt to disguise your own illicit activities.
Did I now? And what illicit activities would those be?
You want me to spell it out? Fine, let's put everything on the table. You, Baron Roguel, murdered Monsieur Grenouille. That is what you were trying to keep hidden.
Directly accusing me of murder. How shamelessly brazen.
That is a ludicrous accusation, Falcon. The Baron is an upstanding citizen of the highest order. Your allegation is baseless. You have no evidence. No means, motive, or opportunity.
No evidence? Think harder, Monsieur Rabbington. Every piece of evidence points to Baron Roguel as the prime suspect. If you want the means, the Baron certainly had the means. His lion's claws are as sharp as a surgeon's blade. Cutting a frog belly would be trivial to him. Even Monsieur Robinho confessed just moments ago that he feared his claws.
Ridiculous. I would never threaten a man with violence.
Your own motive? The Baron had at least 10,000 francs worth of motive. By removing a business partner, the Baron's share of his railway company increased from 1/3 to 1/2.
This is preposterous.
And finally, the Baron had an opportunity. No, he crafted the perfect opportunity. He arranged a small banquet with a very selected number of guests. He was aware of the missing silverware, and yet he served steak, a food item that necessitates good cutlery. Why? To bloody the hands of the guest, of course. Then he hired an easily influenced photographer and staged a very specific picture in order to build a perfect alibi for himself. Photographing the guests in front of a handleless clock to make for easy editing is quite an ingenious plan, it must be said.
Prosecutor, are you just going to let this slanderous yarn go uncontested? Say something. Object. Oh, you're pitifully useless.
After executing the murder, the Baron found himself still holding a single piece of incriminatory evidence. He finished his cigar. He knew that leaving it at the crime scene would raise suspicion, but he didn't have time to properly dispose of it. So out of desperation, he threw it into his fountain, out of the sight of his guests and any snooping police. I imagine the Baron was hoping to implicate Senor Petra de Miao, since that would ensure total control over his railway company. Oh. Alas, Dame Cutterly was the first to happen upon the crime scene, so the Baron improvised.
This is an outrage. Judge, I demand that you disbar this ranting lunatic.
No, there is only one outrage here. That is that a man like yourself is able to abuse his wealth and status to frame an innocent girl for murder. You're a bourgeois of the worst kind.
How dare you, Gaston? The utter nerve for a lying scumbag of a lawyer to accuse a philanthropist like myself of something so heinous. I'm nothing like the fat cat bourgeois. I'm a respectable, hard-working capitalist.
No, you're a ruthless man who would slaughter a dear friend just to reap a few francs.
You incredulous whelp. I ought to gut you right here and now like a damned frog.
Could someone please restrain the Baron?
I'm on it, Jonah! Let's go, old man, to the conciergerie with you.
Don't touch me, you filthy jackdaw. I can walk myself.
This is quite a turn of events. Does the prosecution have anything to add?
Well, in a manner of, speaking, well, to be honest, no.
Then I shall confer with the members of the jury to come to a decision. I ask that the animals of the court please be patient in this time. You still need the jury to tell you whether she was innocent or not? Come on.
Falcon, that was pretty incredible.
Thank you, I just hope it was enough.
What do you mean? You just proved Catalin's innocence. We'll get a not guilty verdict for sure.
Sparrowson, I think you misunderstood something important about the justice system.
What's that?
I haven't proved anything. As lawyers, we cannot deal in proofs. It's just not possible. All we can do is organize the evidence and convincingly explain what it suggests. We haven't proved Dame Catalin's innocence. All I have done is demonstrate that there is a significant possibility that she's not guilty.
I'm not sure that I understand the difference.
We have reached a decision. In light of the recent revelations, it is clear that an error of judgment was made with the initial arrest. On that note, we unanimously find the defendant, Dame Catalin de Miao, to be not guilty. Yay.
Monsieur Falcon, petit Sparrowson, you did it.
Yeah, I suppose we did, didn't we?
We should head back to the office so we can celebrate properly. You did it, Falcon!
I can't take all the credit. This was a group achievement.
I'm so proud of both of you. I'll go get 1 bottle of wine and 3 of our least dirty glasses.
You were amazing, Monsieur Falcon.
Oh, it was nothing.
I very much liked the way you pinned the murder on the Baron. That was an act of sheer genius.
Well, I didn't pin anything. Sparrowson and I just worked at unveiling the truth, given the facts of the case.
Monsieur Falcon, there is no need to play coy. The case is over.
Play coy?
Don't tell me you're actually being sincere.
I'm completely lost.
Oh, well. I thought the goody-goody thing was an act, but you actually don't know. Alright, I'll spell it out for you.
What the...
I murdered Monsieur Grenouille. I saw him in the garden, all drunk and vulnerable, and I seized my opportunity. It was nothing personal, just business, you understand?
Business?
To increase my papa's share in the train company, of course. My papa always said that the drunk old frog was the weakest link.
Your confession doesn't make any sense at all. I found Baron Roguewale's cigar butts hidden in the garden.
Oh, I put it there. I expected the police to find it, but I suppose that was putting too much faith in the brains of Paris's finest.
But Falcon proved that Monsieur Robinio's photograph was edited.
It was edited. I wasn't in the picture because I was busy paying a visit to Monsieur Grenouille in the garden. My papa knew I needed an alibi, so he ordered Monsieur Robinio to paint me over Baron Roguewale and to add hands to the clock. But that lazy artist didn't manage to finish altering the photograph, but I tried there. It's a good thing that Monsieur Falcon was so imaginative, because that could have gone very badly. What's with the silence? You should both be proud. There aren't many lawyers in the whole of France who could have won a case like this, even for a bourgeoisie kitty like me.
I think you should leave.
Fine, so much for the celebrations. Here's the payment for your services, straight from my papa's pockets. Well, adieu, Monsieur Falcon. Adieu, petite Sparrowson.
Oh, God.
Falcon, what do we do now? Falcon?
No. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so after each arc, it seems the curtain seems to close, which is very interesting because once another act begins, you can see the people. Anyway, well, that was an interesting turn of events. It is quite curious that Baron Roguewale didn't try to defend himself more. I must say this makes this game much more interesting, that we didn't just seize the right person, but rather framed him. And I guess what Sparrowson said last time about us helping people get away with criminal acts is correct, I suppose. I am really enjoying this game. It's very well written. The art is very nice. The characters are interesting. The humor is great. And it's an overall nice experience, though it is a bit hard on my throat because of all the males in the cast. Perhaps it would be a bit easier. Hopefully next case there will be more female characters. But either way, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.